Hi YouTube, Suka here with some more Warforged for you. Today we're going to discuss the recent balance changes, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at them and tell you what I think. And if you like this, please do like and subscribe. So these are the balance changes. It's already out in Warforge. It will be up next week. We're gonna start with High Fleet Leviathan. So High Fleet Leviathan, Tyranids. And we have the Thermagant Brood. I think it's 5 cost, right? Thermagant Brood, or 4 cost, this one. So instead of dealing 1 damage, it becomes 1 ranged. So I wanted to start with the Tyranid one because I want to explain my design philosophy and what I think and how I think about certain cards and how I think about the card game in general and why I dislike certain cards the way I do. Um, when it comes to card games, you have a concept called negative play experience. So that's a way of designing the card games, which makes it not fun for one or two of the players. So one of the most important things about that is lack of counterplay. So if you're playing a competitive card game between one or two opponent one between two opponents, right? So generally, you want both players to be interacting with each other, countering each other, and doing all that stuff. Now, when you're playing a deck like the Turbigon one, all they're doing is accumulating the cards in their hand, and then playing them all down in one turn and killing you. This is the same as Gene Stealers, which is why I don't like Gene Stealers as well. Um, now that that the only way you can actually counter that is by attacking the other guy's warlord. Now that's not enough because of course he has a high HP as well, and he's gonna be defending himself or he's not gonna be attacking, and he's gonna generally he's gonna finish his combo before you can kill him. Now so there's really no way for you to actually interact with him, and you just have to survive the combo. So anything like that I'm against. So which is why I support the change for Tervigon to the Termagant Brood. Instead of dealing 1 damage, you get 1 range. So you get a giant Termagant Brood with all of your swarms, but you don't wipe out the opposing board. So the opposing player can still do something. They can still interact with you. Now, I'm also against things like multiple rounds of invulnerable, especially when it's like Humanity Shield or even in um, even in skirmish with sisters going multiple rounds of miraculous feat. That's because there's nothing you can do to interact with it. You just have to pass your turn, right? No matter how big a board you build, you still can't do anything. So that's why I actually am an advocate of changing invulnerable to just do plus 10 armor. So that if you do multiple small hits or 1 big hit, you can still get through it. You can still interact with it in such a way. But it's still powerful because it's still 10 armor, right? So this guy, it's still powerful. I mean, you're gonna get like once you if you do the same deck, once you finish this guy, he's gonna have like 15 attack or 20 attack, so you can one shot the opposing warlord, and you're still gonna have like a giant Termagant. You're gonna have a giant um Slither Swarm, whatever the 1/1 is called. You're gonna have a giant Hormagant. You know, you're gonna have giant stuff in addition to a giant Termagant. So it's still there. You just have to interact with your opponent now. Next, let's go with the orcs. So orcs, we have 2 changes for the orcs. Number one, we have the Defgun Luta and the Carnage. So they're both the same. Defgun Luta is now 1 to 2 damage instead of 2, and Carnage is now 1 to 2 damage instead of 2. I've long thought that the only way to counter orcs is to have a 1 armor thing on the board, just so that the Carnage gets reduced to 1 armor, and the Luta gets reduced to 1 damage. Um, and now they've made that by default, so I think it's okay now. Orcs were dominating because of this combo. In skirmish, there's really not a lot you can do to stop it. Like by the second turn, you can have the or by third turn, you can have three goblins plus your two free ones from your defense card, and then a carnage for like six, and there's nothing your opponent can do to stop it. You can't kill the goblins because they just got there. So one to two damage I think is fine. I don't even think this will affect the orcs much, because one to two damage is still a lot. Uh, and nothing has been really done to stop like the carnage coming out from nowhere. Like again, I like things you can stop, so you can see them building up their goblins, and then you can stop it by killing the goblins. But in this case, all the goblins show up on the turn when the carnage shows up, so there's nothing you can do to stop it as well. So I don't think I don't think it will reduce the win rate of orcs as much as people think it will. In fact, I see another nerf coming to these guys. I see a day when Carnage and Luta will just be one damage flat. I don't see them staying at 1 to 2 for too long. You're gonna see another month of orcs on top. At least in skirmish. I don't know about classic. I don't even think they're used in classic. Well, Carnage I don't see a lot in classic, but I do see the Luta in classic. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna save the Eldar for last. We have Tau, Ultramarine. Sorry, we'll go with Tau first. All right, so Tau Stealth Drone. Okay, so the health has been reduced from 2 to 1. So I'd like you to think, when has your stealth drone ever been killed? Number one, it's out of stealth. Number two, you get hit by an AOE or a blast damage thing. So if you're out of stealth, any attack can kill you, whether you're 1 or 2 HP. Generally, the basic attack that's gonna hit you is 2 HP anyway. So your 1 HP difference is not gonna matter much. If you get hit by a AOE or a blast, like a Skiting Touch or a Storm Raven, as far as I'm aware, most AOEs, even like the Black Sword Missile, which will hit this for 3, are more than 1. I think only the Tyranids have an AOE that's 1, and they never use it. For Blast, the only Blast 1 I can think of is the Flamer, and he never uses a Blast 1, he's gonna use his ability anyway. Um, I can think of a lot of Blast 2, but I can't think of a lot of Blast 1. So I'm not sure this is actually it's a nerf, but I don't think this will matter. Next we have Savior Protocols. It's a nerf, definitely it's a nerf. So now instead of getting it for totally for free, you still have to pay maybe 1 or 2 for the drone you got. So you're not gonna get a DS8 out of hand. On the other hand, you choose when to play it. So that could be a big thing. You might not be ready to disgorge all of your drones on the turn you play Savior, though you generally are, but you might not. So at least you get the chance to put down that drone when it matters. So pluses and minuses. Overall, it's a minus, but not as bad as we think. Lastly, we have the one that hurts the most, the Vanguard drone or the Guardian drone. From our 02, we went to 01. I think that if you were to keep a running total, you would find that in the middle of a game, during a game, 40 to 50% of the drones you summon are Guardian drones, because you need them to protect your other stuff. So having 40 to 50% of your troops lose 1 damage is pretty big. So it's huge. I'm not gonna lie. Will it kill the deck? I don't think so. You might see that. You might see them rely a bit more now on other drones because they weren't touched. But not having the Guardian drone there. See, the thing about the Guardian drone is that it protects your damage reducer, your cost reducers. You have 2 cost reducers, Savior and Piranha. So some games you only draw your Piranha, so you have to protect it. Without the Guardian drone wall, it will get killed right away. So that's why the Guardian drones are so important. So even at 1 HP, I think they'll still be played. Still though, honestly, if you add all three negatives together, I mean, it's not too bad. The nightmare scenario would be reducing the Guardian drone to 2 HP. I think that would kill the deck. But the HP is still there. It will still take 2 attacks to get through this, which is kind of what you want. And most of the time, you're not using your ranged anyway. You're getting hit in the 0 melee portion. So most of the time, you're not gonna be able to notice the difference. So Tau is still gonna be there, I think. I don't foresee a huge drop in Tau win rate. Next we have Ultramarines. All right, perfect. So most of the changes revolve around Guilliman. So let's go to Suppressor first. Suppressor, where are you? Alright, so instead of choosing a stratagem, you can now only choose a non-legendary stratagem. Obviously, this means that you don't get back Zeal, and you don't get back Humanity Shield. Remember what I said about negative play experience and non-interactivity? I am very much in support of changes like this, so good job. Next, we have Guilliman himself. So he was nerfed, but what is Guilliman's strength really? Building a lot of HP, right? So they nerfed his secondary abilities. So Primarch to 16th or 13th, and Master of Battle. So Author of the Codex is still the same. This one only gives it to one turn for one turn, but that's okay. I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, it's good to have it on the defensive, but it shouldn't really matter much to you. And Sentry 1 from Sentry 2. In my experience, the only reason you would use this is if you need the extra energy to make sure that your codex goes off. Because sometimes you need to spend 2 on something. So that's the only time you would use a card like this. So whether it's Sentry 1 or Sentry 2, if the situation calls for it, you would use it, and you don't really care. At that point, the codex trigger is more valuable to you than what the card actually does. So honestly, even if they blank this card, you would still use it just to spend 2 when you need to spend 2, and you have nothing to spend 2 on. So you know, whatever it does is fine. I don't see this impacting Guilliman at all. Win rate's still the same, etc., etc. The now there's another nerf which we'll get to, but this particular nerf, I don't see it affecting Guilliman at all. Now this is the nerf that hurts. Avenging Zeal goes to 12, and then it's no longer reduced from Warlord triggers. Most of your reduction from Avenging Zeal actually came from Guilliman. I think in a space of a game, 4 or 5 of your Avenging Zeal reductions would come from Guilliman. So you're gonna have to get that from somewhere else now, which means that the Avenging Zeal comes from like a turn 5-6 play to something like a turn 7-8 play, which might be where it's supposed to be anyway, because that's where Immortal Pride and Assault Doctrine is anyway. So it might be okay. I think what's gonna happen here is that he's still gonna use Zeal, but it's gonna be the an equivalent Zeal to Tiberius and the others that use it. It's not gonna be like a super card for Guilliman where you have to deal with a 4/4 Warlord from the middle of the game. All in all, I think it's fair. I think it will reduce the win rate of Guilliman by a lot because he can't high roll a Zeal in his opening hand anymore. But it's fair. It's fair. I don't see it like ruining the deck or something. I do see Zeal like I do see that there's gonna be secondary effects to Zeal. Like Zeal may be a Guilliman only card from now on. Like if I'm Varro and I'm already having trouble bringing out Zeal because he already reduced who's the sniper guy? The sniper guy that used to give 1 energy. Do you already nerf that one? I don't have a way to reliably play Zeal anymore, so I might not use it anymore. So Zeal might be a Guilliman only card from now on, which is okay. You know, some cards are like that. Like for example, the Flamer and Denkler. The Flamer only really works with Denkler. Um, so that's fine. Gilliman will still be the same. It's an indirect nerf to the other Space Marine casters. But they can just do away with Zeal. They don't need to use Zeal anyway. And the big one, Simhan. Okay. Before we discuss changes, I want to discuss the general direction of the change. So first off, I would like to thank the company EG, or the company behind Warforge, for their design decisions. Uh, to make Eldar competitive, the company could have buffed cards that you already use, um, like uh, Striking Scorpion or Farseer or Wrath of Cain, or those cards that you already see play, to make them stronger. But instead, they buffed cards you don't see on the table a lot. That means that you get more viable options. That's always good for me. I like more viable options. That gives more freedom of deck building. That gives more varied decks. No meta decks. Well, there's probably gonna be a meta deck, but um, more viable meta decks, or more viable decks that other than the meta deck. Um, if you notice, like if you guys have played Magic before or Hearthstone, when you come out with an expansion, really only 4 or 5 cards make a difference. The rest are trash. Especially with Magic, like the commons and rares, they're usually trash. All you really need is the higher rarity stuff. So anytime you make the commons and rares competitive, I really like it. Anytime you make them viable options, even not that viable but still competitive, I will fully support it. So good job on these changes. I support all of these. Keep making changes on the cards we never use, so that we will use them at some point. So we'll go with the legendaries first. So Avatar of Cain, uh, he becomes Blast 6 and Camouflage. I particularly don't care about Blast 6. I think Blast 4, Blast 6, I'm probably gonna kill whatever I wanna kill. That's fine. But the most important thing is Camouflage. That means that Avatar will not get hit by Inspired Retribution or anything anymore. Uh, he's almost as big as a Monolith, so they're gonna have a hard time to just pick him off the table without stratagems. So and remember, stratagems also give stuff like Hunt Mark to increase their damage on you, or Marker Lights or stuff like that. So not being targetable means a lot. That means more than the blast stuff. Will of Cain, still Will of Cain. But yeah, very good card from now on. Host of the Dead, you get an extra weight guard. That's great. No questions asked. Um, Next you have our Witchfire. So that's a 4 cost guy. So 4, 3, 5. That's a basic stat for a 4. Now instead of getting 1 for 1 to 3 damage, it's 0 for 1 to 3 damage, and 0 for a possible 2 to 6 damage. That's insane. Now the problem with this guy, as most people will complain, is he does nothing when it comes to the table. That's okay. Sometimes I love Murder Fang, and he does nothing when it comes to the table. Sometimes it's okay to put down something for your opponent to deal with. Now, if they use a flanker to deal with it, that's a flanker they're not gonna use on something else. So as long as you keep the tempo going, you should be fine. If you do get the thing is that like with Murder Fang, you're okay not for him not doing anything on the first turn, because the payoff is so huge. If he does not get to act, he'll kill 2 things in 1 turn and heal while doing it. I think the payoff for this one, considering that he's only a 4 cost, is as big as that. Can you imagine getting 2 to 6 damage for free every turn? Well, you pay one extra, but even 1 to 3 damage for free is big, because again, that's for free. So you can use that to trade. You can use that to And if you somehow invest a stone, you can use that to clear a troop. So I think this I would expect this in every deck from now on. Next we have the Swooping Hawk. Um, Flying plus one shooting and gain rank. Flying plus one S. One S. Sorry. Flying one stone, gain range and flank. So 2/4/4. Um, he's actually as good as an intercessor now. Intercessor is 3/4/4, right? Or was it 3/4/5? But in any case, he's always also almost as good as an intercessor. And like the Death Spinner, you invest a stone in him, and he gives it back to you almost immediately. Because of course you're gonna send him into a situation when he's gonna die, and that's perfectly fine. Perfectly serviceable card. I foresee this in a lot of decks from now on. Next we have Fire Prism. I think this is a celebrated change. A lot of people were asking for it. So deal 8 damage to armor. That will pretty much kill almost any armor target out there. Most of the time, armors are like 6 HP, 7 HP. So dealing 8 damage will kill them, especially like the Wolf Terminator. That's probably the biggest 6 drop. Um, Even like a Lehman Rush is only 7 plus 1. So it's still gonna kill that. And you get a 2/6 body on top. So the body is small for a 7 drop, but still, you're gonna do 8 damage. Uh, I can. Eldar. I'm not too convinced Eldar will want to go long. Will want to go to extend the game so long that the Fire Prism will come in play. But I can see this used a lot in Classic. I'm not too sure yet about Skirmish. Next we have the Wraith Lord. Um. All right, 8 plus 2 health. So when you spend 3 stones, you get plus 4 2. So that's gonna be 12 12 10. Okay. I think I'm gonna say something controversial here. I still don't see this seeing play. He's an 8 drop. He has huge stats, but he has nothing defensive. He has nothing to protect against stratagems, and he has no armor. He only has high HP. High HP is good. It means that they have to trade stuff into it. But it also means that it will die before you get to do anything with it. Uh, and the problem is we're already talking about the 8 drop territory. And another change this cycle made other stuff in the 8 drop territory, really good. And you have to spend without maybe if the plus 2 HP was base without spending the three stones, maybe this would be okay. But as far as I can see, it's not gonna get used. Then you have the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. This is the other 8 drop I was talking about. So instead of ranged blast 3, it becomes blast 5. Now what you really want this for is 8 for 8 and flanking. So Samael is 8 for 9 flanking. And he's not flying. So you can melee attack him and stuff. So this guy is almost as good as Samael with the added ability of gaining a blast 3. Or blast 5 in this case. So it's pretty good. I foresee this in Control Eldar, or Eldar that likes to extend the game. I see this played a lot more now. I don't. I kind of don't see the main value going up. You really want this for the flank, not for the blast 5. But if the blast 5 is there and you have the stones, you'll certainly take it. So it is what it is. It's very good now. I would see it in certain types of deck, but not all decks. Because what you want the card to be in anyway. Then we have Wave Serpent. So 7, 3, 6, 7, and he gets the talent, instead of costing two, it costs one. So you get two Guardian Boys. Um, Consider that this is 367, and you have another choice here, which is 777, and other flying units get +2/+2. Or another choice here, which does 8 damage. Uh, or this one, which is Sniper, when 8 HP. I don't think this is the troops are gonna provide that much value. Uh, I mean, it makes it into a viable choice, I guess, maybe. Though I don't really. Having said that, I might be just gaslighting myself. I still don't see it being used. I think that it's not being used not because. Well, how do I say this? I think it's not because it's too weak, but others are too strong. Though having said that, I do realize the contradiction because, by definition, if others are strong, then you're weak. If you don't match up to their level, because it's all relative. But still, it's something like that. Like, I would rather see others get reduced in attack or in abilities, rather than this one get increased more. I think this is about the right power level we should aim at. And just the other choices in the game are better. Um, Next we have Wraith Guard. Now that also combos with our Spirits of the Dead, um, because Spirits of the Dead makes Wraith Guard, and Wraith Guard mainly gets plus one damage. So here is the Wraith Guard somewhere. That's a blade. Oh, guard is cost 4. Okay. So it's gonna be 3/3. So 4, 4, 3, 5, 6, which is not bad, but you have to spend a stone. Um, 4, 4, 3, 5, 6 is respectable. In fact, I think that might be the best stats anywhere. Normally, a 4 would only top at 5 health, like the chaplain from Dark Angels, or the uh, the battle tech suit from the stealth suit from Tau. So it's better than that, but it does cost a stone investment, and you're not getting that stone back because it's a robot. Um, Honestly, I don't really see it played much at 4. However, however, I do see that Spirits of the Dead might see a comeback. So I think we'll see it more there than here. So in effect, it became an indirect buff for for Spirit of the Dead, rather than for the base card itself. But overall, I think all these chart changes are good for Eldar. It's healthy to promote more cards, and give players more valuable choices. You want everyone picking different decks as much as possible, to their liking. Because if everybody uses the same cards, then that means there's something wrong with the balance of your game. So overall, kudos to the company for making these changes. I appreciate all of them. I think all of them are good. Some people might think I'm a company booster. I do think we need to support the company because we want the game to grow bigger. But when I do call out things like the non-interactivity when I see it, and I have a lot of changes in Discord proposed. So when I see something wrong, I will say it. But all these changes, they're good. I will even accept the Vanguard drone change for Tau. That's fine. The only thing that I wouldn't have accepted there is if they made the HP 2. I think that would have killed the deck. But you know, as long as it stays around to get some hits, that's fine. All right. Well, tell me what you think of my thoughts here, Tsuka's thoughts. Leave it in the comments and stuff. I will try to respond. And this is Tsuka signing out, and I hope to do this next month as well with our next band. Oh, one more thing. I dearly love that we're getting balance changes like this every month. I used to play Hearthstone. I used to play other card games. Hearthstone would change cards every 3 months, and not a lot of them. because they wanted to forget about the previous set once the new set comes out. Magic barely touched anything. I mean, one of the best things about a digital card games, and the worst things, is that you don't actually own the cards. So they can errata at will without, affecting you. You can, you can play with the cards. The errata will come out, and then you won't even see the previous version. You'll see the new one. So I appreciate that the company is utilizing the digital space to the best of their ability. I would like to see that in other card games, frankly. So thank you to the company for that. And this is Tuki again. Like and subscribe. I will see you next time. Have a great day.